Hi, okay, so welcome to day 4. So day 4, if you've gotten through day 1, 2, and 3, by the time you get to day 4, you're tired, you're hungry, you're ready for some food, and you're feeling like, oh, today's a salad day and a stew day, and I don't have the energy or the time to make either, but I'm hungry. But don't let yourself snack on anything else. Don't let yourself get off track. And I can promise you, if you don't get your 2 glasses of water and fill them in the morning, you won't drink them. So go ahead right now and get your 2 glasses of water filled. That's one of the most important things. So if you're not up right now and you don't have your water full, 3, 2, 1, go. Go get the glasses. And at least set the glasses out right now where you can reach them, and you're going to fill them with water. Put the mineral drops in them and the sea salt. Okay, so that's the first thing. It's very important to get those 2 glasses of water in a day. So today we're moving on to the nourishing day. We're starting to build, and we're going to be having a detoxifying raw salad for lunch, a huge salad with lots of greens. We're going to be starting to eat now. But if you can't make it until lunch to eat because you're hungry, then go ahead and go. Now we're not going forward a day if you're hungry, you're going backwards. So the first 3 days, if you were hungry on the water fast, you moved to the second day and had a juice. If you were hungry on the juice fast and you couldn't take it, you moved forward and had a smoothie. So now when we're on day 4, if we're hungry and we can't make it to the salad, we go backwards. We try a smoothie or a juice or water. So if you want something in the morning, then go ahead and start with water. If that doesn't work, try a juice. If that doesn't work, maybe a cup of bone broth. If that doesn't work, a smoothie, and then make your way to lunch. So that's what you want to do in the morning. So let's just make the salad together. It takes a long time, but we're going to prep for 2 days, so it'll be worth it to get all of it done. And I know it seems like a lot of work, but I'm going to do it with you, and you can see it's not really that much. We're going to do them together. So the first thing you need to do is get 2 different cutting boards out. We're going to have one for lunch and one for dinner, and we're going to get working simultaneously. So go do that now, and then the largest Tupperware that you have. Mine happens to be a plastic one. My glass ones are a bit smaller, so I'm going to go get a large Tupperware. Okay, so it's just like this. And that's going to be for my salad, and that's great because it's going to be enough for me, my husband, my kids, or for several days in a row. And that's what you want. You just want easy. Easy is better when you're preparing food. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to get out your soup. This happens to be a butternut squash soup made with beef bone broth. So it's made with beef stock, and then so I boiled the bones on my broth day, and then I've added the butternut squash and garlic and ginger and pepper and coconut milk and all kinds of wonderful things in here. So this is what I'm starting with, just a little bit in the bottom. I would say it's about 2 cups. So that whatever we had left over from yesterday, and that's going to be the base for my stew. Also, the meat that I got off the bones is here. So I have a little bit of beef that came off the beef bones that I saved. So I'm going to use that, put it on my dinner tray. And here's for my dinner tray, and then the salad stuff over here. So actually I'm going to move that because that's just a little high. Okay, so next thing you want to do is just go to your fridge and get out all the greens that you've bought for the week. So just get them out. So here I have some mixed greens, and you can cheat this way. Just buy them in the packs. They're organic, they're pre-washed. Mixed greens, broccoli microgreens, baby kale, baby spinach, okay, and while I was in my fridge, I grabbed some romaine because I love romaine, but I have to cut that. And I've got a bunch of kale, and then I grabbed some leeks and some carrots, just because I know I will need them. So we're gonna start with our Tupperware container, and we're just gonna go ahead and start with the mixed greens. So the mixed baby greens, we're gonna open and pour the whole thing in. Great, that's wonderful. because we're going to eat all of this over the next 2 days. And like I said, you can feed your family too, or it can last for one of the weekend meals too. I'm going to pour in some mixed baby kale. Then I'm going to pour in some spinach. I have about a half a pack here, so I'm going to get rid of this spinach. I am going to pour in my broccoli microgreens, just the little microgreens. Will make it nice and spicy and give it a kick of nutrition. So that was easy. So far, super easy, no chopping involved. Amazing. Now I gotta get out my knife and cut some romaine because romaine's just great in the salad. And I have this bunch of kale, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save my dark leafy green here. I probably won't put any in the salad because I've got the baby kale, and I'll save this for a super stew. So, great. I'm just gonna have an extra romaine leaf here, a little bit, that I'm gonna cut up with a big knife. So away we go. We just chop pretty finely into pieces. And then we can toss it in. The other thing that you want to make sure that you buy when you go to the grocery store is herbs, because herbs are one of the things we definitely need in our salads because it gives it that extra nutritional boost. It helps to detoxify, and they're amazing. So I'm going to go into my fridge and just grab out the herbs that I have. Some of them will be good for salads and some of them will be good for the stew. So I'm just going to grab all of them out. So that's basically it. That's the salad done, but it's so important that you put it in a big container because now it's ready to go. You don't have to like, oh, I don't have the energy to chop. It's done and it's ready for 3 days. It's ready for you every time you need it. So I have some rosemary here. I'm gonna set this aside for the stew. Thyme, set it aside for the stew. I have some dill here. I'm gonna keep it. Chives. I have some sage, I'm going to set it aside, and mint I'm not going to use. So I'm just going to use chives and dill. Unfortunately, I don't have any parsley, or I would put a bunch of parsley in. So I'm just going to cut up some chives. They are great for a salad. And as often as you can get as many herbs as you can get in are important. So you remember we want as many greens, we want microgreens, and we want herbs. So those are the 3 combinations that we want for the salad. And I'm going to use a bunch of dill here, the rest of my dill, which is great. I'm just going to chop it and throw it in. Okay, so now when we're ready for our salad, we can take it out. All we need to do is get some really good olive oil and apple cider vinegar. Equal parts, you know, a tablespoon, throw it on there and your salad's ready to go. You could, if you wanted to, make a raw salad dressing. There's tons of recipes online. There's tons of recipes in books, online. If you feel like you want to do a nice raw food dressing with nuts and lemon and all kinds of amazing ingredients, raw food ingredients, that would be awesome too. So it's whatever you have time for. If you're running short on time, you just use the oil and vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is even better than balsamic. And or you can do a raw food dressing. So that's what you're gonna have for lunch. You can spice this up now with some carrots. And sometimes what I do if I'm gonna be having salad for 2 days is I won't chop my carrots. I'll get my food processor and I run them through my food processor. I will run cabbage through my food processor on the shredding. And it's annoying, but since you're prepping for 3 days, it's not that much to clean out. And then you have this, so I'm gonna set this on top and I'm gonna do that, put that on my food processor later, put it through, then I'll have my carrots. So if you have carrots or beets or cabbage or anything else like that, you can run it through your processor. You get a nice processed, kind of shredded look to it, add it in there. When you're done, you just put the lid on, because I'll add in those carrots after this video. And just shake it up, mix it up, whatever, put it in the fridge, you're done. You're ready for lunch, okay? So next we're gonna work on our stew. So, sorry, that didn't close. There we go. Okay, so if you don't have an Instant Pot, I'll go ahead and use a crock pot or a stove top. But I have my Instant Pot here. Like I said, I have my leftover broth. So for the base of this stew, I'm gonna start to cut my meat. It's just a little bit. It's not enough to feed me for a couple of days or my family because it was just left on the bones. So I went ahead and I got some, let's see. It fell right out of my freezer. So I've got some bison stew, and this is just stewing bison that's already cut in chunks. It's about this size, and I'm gonna add it to the stew. So this is, I'm just gonna fill my sink with water right now, let it thaw. So I'll just show you. There we go. It's fresh organic bison stew. So if you haven't, I'm just gonna plug my sink and let that fill up. As soon as it's covered, I'm just going to stop my sink, so it'll be ready to put it in a few minutes. So I'm just going to cut this. So if you haven't already found an organic farm near you, that is something that you should do. If you're going to be following this meal plan, you need to, rather than go to the grocery store or the health food store, you can, but it's better to find a farm that is growing grass-fed, organic meat and chicken and eggs, and find that local to you. Like I said, Weston A. Price is a good resource. If you go on there, you'll find a Weston A. Price chapter near yourself. You can call it and they will give you the resources. You could ask your health food store or any market and they'll tell you. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that in. It's just kind of chopped up beef, okay? And we're gonna add in our bison. So next I'm gonna put in some leek or onions. So I'm gonna start with a leek here and grab out my onion. And the reason I keep going off camera and I don't have this all ready and all prepared for the video is because I want to show you. Yeah, it takes some work. Like, I don't just have it. It's not magic. It's not sitting in front of me ready to just pop in and ta-da, it's ready. But it's worth it, and it doesn't take that long. So, I'm just cutting some leeks. I'm cutting about a half of a leek. I'm gonna throw it in my stew base. And then I'm gonna cut an onion. Or if that's all you have is a couple of onions, then do a couple of onions. And don't feel like you need to be a hero here and cut everything. If you can find organic frozen onions in a package, my grocery store is the pits. I mean, I'm out in the middle of nowhere in Canada, and I can still find organic food. So it isn't getting the organic onions, but I know that many and most stores have them. So go ahead and buy those ones and just open a package and throw it in. Same with all the vegetables. You don't have to cut. So anyways, I'm just cutting here and talking at the same time. So it's a really good idea to find yourself a source, a trusted source that you can, you know, that you're going to be using the meat from, using the eggs. You trust them, you're going to the farm, you're going to get a better deal. You can go there. I like to go there every 3 to 4 months, so enough for a season. I get all my meat for the winter months, for the winter 3 months, then I go get them for the spring, and then I get them for the summer, and then, you know, I get them again for the fall and again for the winter. So maybe 4 or 5 times a year is how many times I go to the farm. And it works out just perfect, and I usually spend about $400 every time I go. Sometimes 5. But anyways, it works out perfectly. So now I'm going to put mushrooms in. These are organic sliced mushrooms. I'm going to go ahead and put mushrooms in because they're great in a stew. They bulk it up. I'm going to use the whole pack. Why not? You don't want to let anything go to waste. So then I'm going to go ahead and chop carrots. So onions and carrots are the basis of any great stew. And they have, my soup has a lot of garlic in it, so I'm not going to add garlic. But if I didn't, then I would definitely add garlic here. So, and it's got lots of salt and pepper, or I would add that as well. So I'm just cutting the onions. I have leek, I have mushrooms so far. And then of course I'm gonna wanna cut carrots. And I'm gonna probably cut as many carrots as I can. So probably like a whole package of them. And then I'm gonna go to my freezer. I happen to have cauliflower and broccoli, and I'm gonna put that in here too, but I'm gonna wait until closer to the end after my carrots and beef and onions and everything has cooked. I'm going to cook that on the stew section of my Instant Pot, and then I'm gonna put it back on with those frozen vegetables, the ones that you don't want them to go all mushy and yucky. So if you're using like kale, spinach, if you're gonna add in, so I'll probably add in kale, cauliflower, broccoli, and that's where you want to add them in. You don't want them to cook for a long time. So they're not a root vegetable. If they're an above ground vegetable, or something that's not cooking for a long time, then I would go ahead and put them at the end and cook for another 5 or 10 minutes at the end to get them all cooked in, but you don't lose the color, and then the stew still looks good. So I have my carrots. I'm going to start chopping those up to go in. I'm also going to put in a few sweet potatoes. So I've got some sweet potatoes here, and I'll probably cut up 2 sweet potatoes, just chunk them and put the chunks in there. I'm going to cut up like a whole pack of carrots and put them in. And then I'm going to put in my herbs. So I'm going to put in rosemary, probably 2 sprigs of rosemary, a sprig of thyme, and a sprig or 2 of sage in there. And I'm going to chop them up finely and put them in. So I'm going to put this then with the bison meat on in the Instant Pot, and I'm just going to cook it. And that's going to be great. It's going to, with the other beef that I have, the bison in there, the onions, the leeks, and the carrots. That's going to go on, and that's going to cook into a beautiful stew. Then I'm going to take it off, add my cauliflower, broccoli, and a little bit of kale or spinach, and then cook that for another 10 minutes or so, and until it's ready to serve. That's what I'm going to do. So now I just want to talk back about lunch. So for lunch, if you're feeling like you need something else, what we want to do is we want to have an organ meat ready to go or a fish ready to go. So I usually use a can of sardines. I will open them and I will take half of the sardines and put them in a little Tupperware in the fridge. And I will take the other half and just chunk them up on my salad. I might add some olives and sardines, maybe some artichokes to the top of it, and away I go. My dressing, and away I go. If I'm feeling more creative and I have a lot more time, I will make my salmon patty and put it on top. So serve my salmon patty on top of my salad for some more. So you want to do like a fish if you're feeling like you want, and listen to your body. Do you feel like you need some fish? This is the meal to do it. So open a can of sardines, just put it on. Open a can of salmon, put half on. Or if you have more time, in another recipe, I'll show you how to make my salmon patty. It's delicious, and you can add it on top of the salad today to give you that fish and the omegas and the protein and everything. So I'll show that in another recipe, but that's another great addition to the salad, and then you're ready to eat. Or you have an organ meat option ready to go, a liver pate, and I can show you how to make that in a separate recipe as well. But if you have that ready to go, then you would just take a little bit, maybe even on a couple pieces of romaine, and just eat it, or in a spoonful and just eat it, or on you know, a piece of a carrot or anything like that and just eat it. So that's another thing. And then to top your salad off, you could also add some avocado. I will probably add a couple slices of avocado today, because you want to get the fat on your salad. So that's one extra thing that you want to make sure that you're doing, is get the fat on your salad. So it can come in the form of the fatty fish, it can come in the form of an avocado, it could come in the form of nuts in a raw salad dressing, but do make sure that you get the fat on your salad today. The other tip I have for you is when I'm ready to eat, I take out a large glass bowl. So you can see the size of this. It's pretty big. It's a pretty big glass bowl. It's not my biggest one, but it's huge. It's like 3 times the size of a regular bowl that you would serve. So I take this, I put my salad in here. Sometimes I even start with a regular bowl, however much I want, I fill it, and then I pour my dressing on it, and it's much easier to stir and everything in a large bowl. So don't feel like you have to eat a small salad. Eat as much salad as you want. Top it with fish if you're hungry. Top it with sardines, the salmon patty, just salmon straight out of a can, whatever. Remember, you want to keep it to about 3 ounces, so that's about a half a can. So, or 1 patty, a half a can of salmon, a half a can of sardines, and the fat, so the avocado or the raw dressing. And then for the stew, of course, everything is in here. You've got your bone broth, you've got your meat, you've got all your vegetables. There's going to be tons of vegetables in here. Simmer down, and it's going to be full, it's going to be rich. You don't want tons of liquid in the bottom or it will turn into a soup, so you need a lot of vegetables. Like I said, you probably have about 2 cups of liquid in the bottom, and the rest is going to be full up of vegetables, and these will steam down, but then we're going to add our other vegetables back in, our above ground vegetables, and finish off the cooking. And that's a wonderful meal. It's a wonderful meal. It's delicious. If you're making some sort of a chili or a stew, you can always top it with mashed avocado, mash it up with a little bit of lemon juice and salt, and top it on top. So we're not eating anything else. That's kind of our meals for today. And if we can't make it, we're going backwards. So we're starting with water, juice, or a smoothie as snacks today. And so that will fill us for the day. So again, we're going to do 2 days of this in a row. So it's easy. And then we're going to come to the weekend. So again, our fish, our organ meats, our salads, our raw salads, our raw dressings, our oil and vinegar, the apple cider vinegar, and our stews. If we need a little bit more, we top it with some mashed guacamole avocado. And that should do it. And you can fill yourself with the juice or a smoothie if you're really hungry. And then that will take us to the weekend. So have fun with this. This is going to feel really satisfying, really filling, and hopefully by the end of this, you're going to be ready to move on and listen to your body on the final step, which is the weekend. So enjoy days 4 and 5, which is Thursday and Friday.